The sun hung low in the sky on that fateful day, casting an eerie glow over the battered walls of Constantinople. As the last defenders prepared for an onslaught, a voice rang out amidst the chaos. "The city is lost, but let us fight for our faith." It was a call to arms that would echo through history, a haunting reminder of a civilization on the brink of oblivion. On this day, the city that had withstood centuries of siege would fall, marking the end of a 1,000-year empire. What led to the fall of one of history's greatest cities? How did a struggling empire, once a crossroads of cultures, succumb to the relentless ambition of a young sultan? In this documentary, we will uncover the dramatic final days of Constantinople, exploring the intricate web of political intrigue, cultural clashes, and the indomitable human spirit. In the early 15th century, the world was undergoing monumental change. The Ottoman Empire, under the leadership of Sultan Mehmed II, was on a relentless march westward. By 1453, they had amassed an army estimated to number around 150,000 soldiers, a force that dwarfed the beleaguered defenders of Constantinople, who numbered barely 20,000. The Byzantine Empire, once the heart of the Roman civilization, was now a shadow of its former self, plagued by internal strife and a dwindling population. The city was a melting pot of cultures, Greek, Latin, and Turkish, yet it stood divided, with deep-rooted tensions threatening its unity. As Constantinople faced its impending doom, its last emperor, Constantine XI, stood as a figure of resilience, embodying both the hopes of his people and the weight of history. With the walls of his city crumbling around him, he famously declared, "I would rather die than give up my city." His determination would soon be put to the ultimate test. As the siege began on April 6, 1453, the air was thick with tension. Mehmed II, known as the Conqueror, was determined to claim Constantinople as the crown jewel of his empire. Using massive cannons, some weighing up to 18 tons, he targeted the formidable walls that had repelled invaders for over a millennium. Eyewitness accounts describe the thunderous sound of cannon fire shaking the very ground as the walls began to buckle under the relentless assault. But the defenders were not without their own strengths. They utilized a series of countermeasures, including the use of Greek fire, a mysterious incendiary weapon that caused panic among the Ottoman forces. However, each day unveiled the grim reality of dwindling supplies and growing despair. As the siege stretched on, morale began to wane. On May 22nd, sensing the desperation among his troops, Constantine made a bold decision. He led a night raid against the Ottoman camp, aiming to instill hope in his men. "We fight for our city, our faith, and our future," he rallied. But upon their return, they found the walls still intact, the Ottoman forces seemingly unyielding. The crushing weight of fate loomed large over the city. The decisive moment arrived on May 29, 1453. At dawn, Mehmed unleashed his final assault, a calculated wave of troops that rushed the battered walls. As the defenders fought valiantly, their resolve began to shatter under the relentless onslaught. The Ottomans breached the walls through a small gate, igniting chaos within the city. In the heart of the battle, Constantine XI fought fiercely alongside his men, but the tide had turned. Witnesses later recounted the haunting sight of the emperor, clad in armor, determinedly swinging his sword as the Ottoman forces poured in. "Here we stand, here we die," he shouted, embodying the desperate hope of a dying empire. In that moment, as the last remnants of the Byzantine resistance fell, the city that had stood for 1,000 years succumbed to the inevitable. It was a moment that would reverberate through history. As the dust settled, Constantinople emerged not as a city in mourning, but reborn under Ottoman rule. Mehmed II entered the city, declaring, "I have taken the city of Constantine." The transformation was immediate. Churches were converted into mosques, and the cultural fabric forever altered. The Hagia Sophia, once a symbol of Christianity, became a mosque, its grand dome now a testament to the clash of civilizations. The fall of Constantinople did not just signify the end of an empire, it marked a profound shift in the balance of power in Europe and the Middle East. The Ottoman Empire would expand, influencing trade, culture, and politics for centuries to come. However, the tales of bravery and tragedy from that fateful day lingered in the hearts of the people, echoing the resilience of a civilization that fought until its final breath. The lessons from the fall of Constantinople resonate even today. It serves as a reminder that empires rise and fall, often as a result of internal division and failure to adapt to change. The conflicts that characterize the final days of the Byzantine Empire mirror struggles we see in many regions of the world today. As we grapple with issues of cultural identity, nationalism, and the challenges of globalization, the story of Constantinople invites us to reflect on our history and the fragility of power. In a world where borders shift and alliances falter, the echoes of that long-ago siege remind us of the consequences of division and the power of resilience. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the dramatic fall of Constantinople. If you found this story compelling, subscribe for more deep dives into history's most fascinating moments. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue exploring the past together.